This message is specifically for students that know without a shadow of a doubt that physical therapy is what they want to do. So if that's you and you know for sure, you're like, man, physical therapy is literally what I want to do with my career. That is like, I can't think of any other way to, serve people that fulfills me more than becoming a physical therapist. For you, you're like if you're listening to this and you're the student that knows that if you picked a different career path, it would not fulfill you as much as physical therapy, then this message is specifically for you. Turning dreams into reality. Hey, what is up? How are you doing? My name is Joseph Ngugi. I'm a physical therapist. I'm also one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind, where we help you get into physical therapy school without wasting time or money. So if that's what you're looking for, you're on the right page. And if you find value from this video, then be sure to check out all the other videos, subscribe, like, share, all the other cool things that will help not only you, but your pre-physical therapy student friends. So this video, I actually want to talk about perspective, right? So I'm going to title this the number one perspective shift that you need as a pre-PT. And this is speaking directly to the moments where as a pre-physical therapy student, you may feel like nothing's going to work out. You may feel like it's not meant to be. You may feel like it's too late. You may feel like your grades are too low. You may feel tempted to pull the plug and switch directions, find a different career, and quit on your dream to become a physical therapist. Now, to be very specific, before I continue, I just want to clarify that this message is specifically for students that know without a shadow of a doubt that physical therapy is what they want to do. So if that's you and you know for sure, you're like, man, physical therapy is literally what I want to do with my career. That is like, I can't think of any other way to, serve people that fulfills me more than becoming a physical therapist. For you, you're like if you're listening to this and you're the student that knows that if you picked a different career path, it would not fulfill you as much as physical therapy, then this message is specifically for you. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, hey, I'm still trying to figure out if physical therapy is for me, then you'll also find value from this, but this is going to hit home with students that know for sure that PT is what they want to do. And if they could somehow make it work, if they could somehow get into physical therapy school, that would be like just a dream come true. So if that's you, listen up. So perspective shift, right? One of the reasons why, I really want us to talk about this is because when it comes to perspective, when things go wrong, sometimes we're a little too close to the problem, right? So for example, let's say you finish a semester and the grades that you wanted are not the grades that you got. Let's say you applied to physical therapy school and didn't get accepted into any program, or you didn't get any interviews, or you're still waiting. There are moments where we feel like, man, like maybe I just won't amount to what these schools are seeing in other students, right? What if, maybe I'm letting other people down? And one thing that I want you to really, really take home is I tell students this, I'm like, listen, the only way you don't get into physical therapy school, like if you genuinely want that, remember I said that I'm talking to people that, this is what they want to do. This is how they want to, spend their career and serve and whatnot. Okay, cool. If that is you, then just understand, just understand that the only way you don't get into physical therapy school is if you quit. Right? It seems simple, but if you really think about it, and then I'm going to talk about quitting here in just a second. If you really think about it, think of anyone that you may have met that may have once wanted to be a PT, but said, hey, well, I tried, it didn't work out, so I did something else. Well, at the end of the day, it wasn't the fact that the schools said, you'll never get into school. It wasn't the fact that they couldn't become the person that could get accepted. It was the fact that at some point, they just stopped. They were like, you know what? I don't want to try anymore. I don't want to do it again. I'm afraid it's going to keep happening. So they decided to quit. Like at the end of the day, that's the only reason why you don't get into physical therapy school. And I'm saying that after years of us literally coaching students in our programs and whatnot who have had GPAs as low as 1.7s, 2.4s, who have been rejected as many as 4 application cycles, who have been rejected to as many as 15 schools in one specific cycle before working with us, 15 schools and no interviews, nothing. all rejections straight, but then, the next cycle getting accepted into multiple programs. I'm telling you this, like all the crazy impossible scenarios, like we've seen them come true, like we've seen them happen. So at the end of the day, the only reason why you don't get in is if you quit. So for those of you that have gotten to moments, or maybe you will get to a point where you're like, you'll at least entertain quitting, and you said that physical therapy is what fulfills you most. Well, I want to ask you a question. This is the perspective shift that I think is going to help you basically kind of make a decision that'll help you either move towards your dream of becoming a physical therapist or not, right? The question is, if you quit now, ask yourself, if I quit now, who will that affect? Like, who does that affect? Well, it affects, maybe it'll affect you, right? And I'm asking you, like, I'm genuinely asking you to ask yourself, just like have a moment of just kind of taking, a step back, because I think, like I said, when things are going wrong, we're so close to everything that we get overwhelmed, we freak ourselves out, we start to overthink everything, and we start to compare ourselves to everybody else. So I want you to take a step back and just ask yourself, if the only way I won't get into PT school is if I quit, then I have to ask myself, like, if I quit, who will that actually affect, right? Maybe you think that, well, if I quit now and I can pick a different career and I can make my parents proud, well, okay, like, who does that actually affect? Well, if it's not what you're, like, if you choosing a different path that is not fulfilling to you, like that affects you, right? So if 5 years from now you go down a different path and you are not fulfilled, if 10 years from now you are not fulfilled because you are not doing the thing that you want to do more than anything else, well, then it affects you. It affects the people you serve. Like, I can tell you this, if you are not able to show, like when you are fulfilled, think of all the things that you've ever done where you're like, yo, this is like my bread and butter. This is my sweet spot, right? Like, you understand that when you're at your best, when you feel fulfilled, you're able to show up at a level that you really can't when you're not fulfilled, right? So like, that'll affect the people you serve. So future clients, right? That affects your family, right? When you're not fulfilled, where do you take that resentment? Where do you take the frustration? You take it to your family members. You're not able to be at your, like, start asking yourself, if I quit, and it's going to be different for every single person. This is a really important question to ask yourself. Who will that affect? The other question is, if I quit, how will that affect my fulfillment as a future professional? And is fulfillment important to you? Maybe it isn't. But if it is, how will that affect that? If you quit, how will that affect your family? If you quit, how, like who will you be unable to help and serve in the future? That's the perspective shift that I really want you to start having. Because like I said, let's get one thing very clear. Like, if you're listening to this and you desperately want to become a physical therapist, you can become a physical therapist. That's not, like, you don't hit a point where it's suddenly impossible. Now, is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. Is there a way to do it? Absolutely yes. Right? And if you want our help, feel free to like contact us or reach out to us or go to our website, right? So, but at the end of the day, like you just have to decide, like, what will quitting actually mean for me? Not just in this moment, right? Because when you quit right now, you're like, okay, yeah, now I'm just doing what's smart or what's wise or however else we, label that. But in reality, like, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, what does that actually mean? And then ask yourself, is that worth it? Is the result of me quitting actually worth it? We had a student, she was in our coaching program, The Accepted System. If you want to find out more about it, go to acceptedsystem.com. But she was in our coaching program, The Accepted System. And in 2016, she applied to a few PT programs. And when she applied that cycle, things did not go well. She ended up getting rejected from all the schools that she applied to. At the time, we had not met her yet. And so she decided, you know what? I don't think, physical therapy is for me. Decided, you know what? I feel like if I go at this again, I'm bound to potentially be rejected again. And so she decided not to pursue PT. She went down a different career path, got a master's degree, did a lot of other things. 4 years later, though, she found herself asking herself, wait a minute, like, why did Why did I step away? Like, even after doing all these other things that seemed like, successful directions to everyone else around her, she was like, I still want to be a physical therapist. I still want to be. And when she really asked herself, she was like, the only reason why I didn't apply again was because I didn't think I was going to be good enough. I didn't think I was going to be able to navigate through this thing and actually get into PT school. So 4 years had gone like that. But she ended up realizing, she's like, I don't feel fulfilled. And the only way I feel like I'll be fulfilled is with the thing that I've been desiring to become for a much longer time than the last 4 years, right? And so that's when, we obviously started working together. And but the crazy thing is, she ended up getting into PT school the second time she applied, which was 4 years later, right? But what would have happened, now she's in PT school and she's absolutely crushing it. But one of the big things is she in 4 years, she basically described how unfulfilled she felt. Whereas there's so many of us that basically live life like that because we're like, well, I can't go back, or, well, it was never meant to be. Listen, if this is your calling, then make it happen. Do not let obstacles rattle you. Also, don't get it twisted. It's not a cakewalk, right? If you are having obstacles like grades or GRE and all that stuff, those are not cakewalk things to navigate through, but they are possible. Don't let anyone else ever convince you that they are not. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So that's what I wanted to communicate to you in this video. And if this was helpful to you to just get a nice perspective shift, share this out. Share this with your peers, your classmates. Reach out to us. If you want to work with us, go to acceptedsystem.com. But at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing. That's the number one perspective shift you need as a pre-physical therapy student. If this is genuinely what you want to do with your career, if this is how you want to serve people, then don't let anything stop you. Do not. And then ask yourself, if the only reason I won't become a PT is if I quit, then I need to be honest with myself about what quitting will actually mean to me, to my family, to my career, to my fulfillment, to the people that I serve. And if I'm okay with the results of quitting, then quit by all means. But if I'm not okay with the results of quitting, then figure out how to not quit. Figure out how to get direction. Figure out how to put yourself around the right people. Figure out what other students who are in your predicament are doing, because they are out there. They are out there. So that is it. Hope you found value in that. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you on the next training. Appreciate you. Bye.